What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now is the time of the day where we go out there and give you our ratings for all the players that played and that match that was. Today, Juventus drew with Bologna at home in a lackluster performance, right? And just a very lackluster performance. There's so many things and different thoughts that I can come out here with, different adjectives I could describe this game with. Just letdown is really what I would call it. A letdown, not only in the heat of the top four race and the heat of competition within Serie A, within what could have been. We talked about what could have been in the top. When I say top four race, I mean for the top. But what I was talking about top four a second ago was actually really just the top four to stay in fourth place, because it's going to be a battle here at the end, especially if Juventus play like they did today through the rest of the season. It may be a slog. Juve could end up falling out of the top four. We need to talk about that, but not only that, but they disappointed end up here at this homecoming. Stick with us. We'll rate these players. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofaro. Today, it's Saturday, April 16th, 2022. And of course, I've got all your ratings for the players that played. And the match that was Juventus versus Bologna at home. 1-1 draw, like I said. Very disappointing outcome, very disappointing performance throughout the entire match. Really, if we're going to be honest, you've probably seen my thoughts, the immediate reaction that I did with Alejandro, but also just to go on top of it, just really, I don't know that you could be more disappointing in a match that I've seen this season. Probably the pace of play, the effort given out there was all abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal. I made some comments saying that after the match against Inter, when Inter defeated Juventus by a gift of a goal or of a penalty, but that was not, called evenly the rest of the game. Anyway, we're moved on from that. Not going to get on going on that. But when it comes to the Inter match and after those points were dropped, it was kind of like Juventus did what the fans said. And the fans, I was one of the fans that said, well, the season's over, as in there's nothing to play for. You've got a pretty good, gain in between the next place, fifth place, and your place in fourth. You're snug in there. But at the same time, third, second, first, all those guys are up there with enough of a distance that it's almost too difficult for you to get into. So let's just sleepwalk our way through the rest of the season. Though instead of sleepwalking, this team is literally, it's sleepwalking, but it's in a way that's detrimental. You're dropping more points before you know it. Some of these teams, Roma, Lazio, whoever have you, Fiorentina, whatever, they could catch you and they could take fourth right from you. So we'll see what happens. They've got a tough road ahead of them. They play, obviously, Fiorentina in the midweek right now, and then Saturday against Sassuolo. They could drop more points before the season is over. And again, also, the homecoming in 11 years since Del Piero has been in Allianz Stadium, and the homecoming of him, and then to put in that performance is... it's embarrassing. It's flat out embarrassing to put in that kind of performance for the greatest to ever play for Juventus. For a guy like that, he deserved to see better, and unfortunately he didn't. These ratings, we'll see. I like to say that I'm going to try to rush through them, or I'm going to try to get through them quickly. We know how that happens. At the same time, I might be a little bit more... may not be as diving as deep into them, but I want to give you my blanket thoughts on each player if I have them, and their performance, their necessity, I guess, overall for the club moving forward, and we'll see what happens there. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see if I give you really kind of stats. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw stats out the window. Let's do this video shorter. Let's do the rankings with the points that I give you, and then we'll just talk about the players, and we'll see. How about that, guys? That's what we're going to do. All right, let's jump into it. Very first up is Wojciech Szczesny and his play today. And the first thing I'm going to say is this. It's an all systems failure. So you're looking at this right now. You see Wojciech Szczesny with a 5.5. I can understand you could give him the 6 because the goal that was given up was not completely his fault at all. You can't really blame him for that. But at the same time, I just think this entire team has not been clicking. This entire team has not been working well together. So at this point, it's a team effort. Your points, your ratings, not that they care about their ratings, but your ratings that you're getting are all, it's a joint effort. Everybody's lockstep in really, really giving us a bad performance. And you expect some guys a lot of keepers are kind of leaders of the team as well. And if you don't see Wojciech Szczesny really guiding these guys and helping get something going, you got to give him a little bit of an nudge there. He gets a 5.5 rating for his performance today. He had I think he had a save. I think he only had like one save the entire match. Like I said, I'm not pulling him all out and touching him all right now. But really, there wasn't a lot. If we're being honest, he wasn't threatened a lot by Bologna. They had a couple shots on goal. They might have had a couple more than Juventus early on, but otherwise, nothing really too detrimental. It's just, it's Juventus's attack. Juventus's attack is just pathetic at this point. All right, let's continue on. De Sciglio gets a 4.5 rating today. I know these ratings are harsh. They are very harsh, but I think if I looked at the defense, like I said, the whole team was bad. These ratings are going to be harsh. De Sciglio, though, and Luca Pellegrini on the two sides really disappointed me today. I don't know what they were doing half the time. They weren't really helping move the ball forward. They weren't doing anything really outstanding either way. And again, this team played really bad. So I gave him a 4.5 rating for his performance today. De Sciglio obviously is set to be renewing for potentially 2 more years, 2 more seasons. Obviously not for a ton of money, but at the same time, you got to give us a better performance than that. I expect that from De Sciglio because I've seen better from him here recently, right? So I expect better than that. Continuing on is Matthias de Ligt. He gets a 5 performance today for me. It's just, again, he was good. When I say good, he was fine. He was fine from the defensive end, but at the same time, it was just everybody was all over the place. It was sloppy play. He ended up coming out, unfortunately, with a bit of an injury there. I think he had actually, it wasn't as much of an injury as it was maybe a stomach issue. I think he was vomiting. We'll have the report. We'll talk about that in the news tomorrow. Whatever is going on with him, we'll see how long he may be out. But unfortunate bit of circumstances, and he was then substituted off for Leonardo Bonucci, who didn't look much better. Continuing on, though, we got Giorgio Chiellini and his performance. I thought Chiellini was... he was Chiellini. He was all right. He was average. He was fine. But again, where I dock him points right now, so 5.5 overall rating. Just a 5 overall rating, pretty flat. That's going to be the average consensus, guys. It's like I said, it's a team effort in getting these bad points. 5 rating. A lot of the things that he did, he was fine. He let's see. I'm just actually looking real quick just to make sure. He had a couple clearances, interceptions, stuff like that. The normal things you expect from Chiellini. But again, I was really hoping, especially with him being the captain, being the leader, that he could get something worked up, get some people fired up for this match. And nobody was there. Nobody wanted to be there. Let's be honest. Nobody looked like they wanted to be there. They all looked like they were just waiting for the season to end. And let's be honest, a lot of us are ready for the season to end as well, so that way we can look forward to what will happen. The problem is, Chiellini after this season may not have a future when it comes to Juventus. It seems more likely that he's going to either retire, join the management, or go to the MLS. And the problem is, though, not really as much for him, but for the team overall moving forward, is if they keep playing like this and they drop more points and somebody jumps them, then you've got a bigger problem when you're looking at the chances of having a better season next season. It's going to be really difficult to go from not making, or to drop down to not making a Champions League, and then hoping that you're competing and trying to win a Scudetto next season. Those players that we talk about each and every week, the Big Z's. I'm kidding. I know how you guys feel. Maybe today's not the day for my Big Z jokes. But overall, the Milinkovic-Savic's, the Pogba, the Jorginho even. Those players, they're probably not coming if Juventus fail to make Champions League. They don't want to come to play for a team that's not playing in the Champions League next season, right? So you can kiss those goodbye if they continue to play like this and they end up the season where it looks like it could be headed. We'll see. I don't want to say that's too presumptive, but it definitely could be. Again, Rugani was not impressed with his performance. He got a 4.5 rating for me overall. Played 59 minutes today. Let's move into the midfield. And this is the area where I more give a little bit of credit to the performance of one of our guys. And that is right here. And that is our boy. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. There we go. Danilo. He's the only one that gets a 6 rating today. And usually a 6 rating is about, I think a lot of people think of a pretty average performance. But He was the only one that was worth a damn. He was the only one that showed up. He was the only one that's fighting. And I want to give Danilo credit because it's not only that he wasn't that he was playing hard and actually trying to make an effort. He also was playing out of position, moved up to the midfield once again because our midfield's depleted with Locatelli being out. You got Adrian Rabiot and Juan Cuadrado by the side. That's what he's working with. So anyway, Danilo, a solid overall effort from him. Definitely, especially not playing as he's used to, as on the right back position where he usually is. So I want to give him credit. I thought he had an overall good performance today. And he should be a key piece of the defense when he actually gets to play defense moving forward. Next up, Rabiot. Rabiot was today a role that I used to give this to him a lot. The last few weeks, he had one good week. And then the other times he's been so bad, so he sticks out. But he's back to his old ways of being the most, the most anonymous player. And that's what he was to me. He was really, really anonymous most of the game. Didn't really see him and a lot of his performances till like the end. I think he had a couple attempts there at the end to try to force that second goal, but it wasn't happening. And one of them was a really poor attempt. He gets a 5 rating today. All right. This one's a doozy. Juan Cuadrado. He's probably what I would rate as the worst player performance today. Juan Cuadrado gets a 4 rating from me today. He was all over the place. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't look like he's in the mental headspace where he needs to be as a player. But also, like, we come here and it's just the same story each and every day at this point. I feel like a lot of what I say on here is I'm just repeating myself. Juan Cuadrado, there are 2 things I expect you to do. Good corners, and then delivering crosses. Corners, crosses. Corners and crosses. That's all I need you to do, and he just hasn't been good. He hasn't been doing it. He hasn't been performing very well at all. And then when it comes to the ball, he's losing possession consistently, and I don't know. He can't complete a pass to save his life. At this point, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Juan Cuadrado. As it stands right now, Juventus are trying to renew him for another deal for another, potential 2 years. I think he has the option on his contract that he could automatically force a renewal of 1 season with the situation, however that's been met. I think that would be for €5 million, something like that. And then if he doesn't do that, Juventus want to renew him for a little bit cheaper, save some money, but have him for 2 more seasons. I'll be honest. Right now, with the way that Juan Cuadrado's been playing, I don't know if I even want him to be renewed. Like, that's where I am. And I know Haneen, and I know all the people. I'm calling out the people on the channel. I'm right there with you. I usually love Cuadrado, but he has been bad. He's been really bad lately, and I don't know if he's going to get better anytime soon. I honestly don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Juan C. 4 rating today. Hopefully, just give me something. Give me some kind of positivity these next 5-6 games till the seasons are over to make me feel good about this renewal. Talking about renewals. Well, speaking of renewals, the next one up is a guy who's not getting one, and that is Paulo Dibala, who obviously we all know that he's done at the end of the season, done being a Juventus, done being a Bianconeri. Anyway, he gets a 4.5 rating today. Atrocious. I mean, he was bad. He, I don't know. The effort's not there, and I said that for the entire team, but it's overly apparent with Paulo Dibala where his mental headspace is. To me, watching him, he's playing, and I can't really blame him, honestly, given the situation and how it played out with Arriva Bene, Cherubini, I don't know why I yawned like that, sorry. Cherubini, Arriva Bene, all that's been going on with the, from October to then, obviously it's not just their fault, it's his fault too, and his agent for having a crappy agent, trying to get more money, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But he's not putting in an effort. Like, he's done. His mental headspace, he's already playing or thinking about the next team. And he's not trying to really score goals. He's not trying to win games. If you're asking me, knowing where Juventus is right now, knowing the future, knowing what you're trying to build toward, Paulo Dybala's done. Like, I would not play him 1 more minute unless serious injuries occur. Morata, Vlahovic, whatever, those guys are out, which, no offense, giving our team's track record, it's a possibility. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't play him one more minute. I don't think he's doing anything good for you. I'm not saying he's throwing games or he's attempting to throw games, but what I'm saying is he's not attempting to win. He's not trying to win you games. He's not trying to put in that extra effort that you demand from him. So at this point, no, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him again. Thank you for your service, Paulo Dibala. It is what it is. Juventus need to make top 4, and I don't think you're really trying to do that right now. Let's move on. Morata, he gets a 5 rating overall for his performance. Not much better than Dybala, but at the same time, again, it's the same song and dance. It's the same song and dance every time. His first touch is not good. Morata's first touch has not been good for a long time, and he struggled today every time that he got the ball, what he was going to do with it, some of the shots he took, as well as, there's the obvious elephant, not really elephant in the room. It's not an elephant, it's just I guess it is. It's a whale in the room. But everybody knows at this point, the midfield is terrible. The midfield right now is also depleted. Rabiot, Danilo, Cuadrado, that's not getting it done. That's not getting it done for Juventus. And right now, nobody's getting the ball, moving the ball toward our attackers, toward the Moratas, Dybalas, and Vlahovic's on the club, on the team right now. So it's just nothing's working for them right now, and it's a struggle to see them play. Morata's a 5. Vlahovic is also a 5. I do want to be clear here, though. There's an argument you can be made that I see Vlahovic, he has put in that effort, and he was trying to put in that effort to go and create something for himself. To go try, he's playing so far back, trying to go get the ball, and then to force it forward for him. He's expending a lot of energy, and then he ends up being caught because of that, because you don't have other guys doing that half of the job for him. But at the same time, the issues aren't all on the midfield. There are some issues with some of the stuff he did. Obviously, he did have the equalizing goal. I give him a point there. I guess maybe I should have gone 5.5. I think a 6 would have been ridiculous. I guess, okay, we'll say 5.5. We'll say it's a 5.5 for Vlahovic because of that goal. But let's not kid ourselves. That goal was good effort. Was against an undermanned Bologna, and that by that time those 2 red cards come up. They had 9 players against 11. Somebody's going to have to be able to overpower when they're playing 2 guys down. You should be able to do that, right? And they ended up getting it. It's unfortunate that they weren't able to get a second one. He was putting in some effort, but at the same time, I need to hold him to a similar standard. I know he's not Ronaldo, but he's playing the same kind of role for Juventus, and I should be expecting that from him. I expect a goal from him, at least a game, really, if we're being honest. Anyway, 5 rating for him. 5.5 rating for him. Remember, it's 5.5, not 5. Anyway, all right, let's continue on. Leonardo Bonucci, he came in. He wasn't overly impressive either when he came in for De Ligt. He struggled a little bit. I know with some of that maybe he hasn't played in a while. He's been injured a lot. But he played 31 minutes, gets a 5 rating from me for his performance. And then Zakaria. Zakaria was also disappointing. Everybody was disappointing. That's it. Everybody was disappointing, whatever. Zakaria gets a 5 rating from me. I was really hoping to see a little bit more explosiveness from him, a little bit more activity, a little bit more creating some attempts for Morata, Dybala, Vlahovic when he came in. And unfortunately, none of that really ever, came to fruition, if you will. Bernadeschi. All right. It's Federico Bernadeschi time. We got to talk about him. 4.5 rating for me. Wasn't good. He was Bernadeschi. That's what he was. He came in feigning goat sometimes. Didn't really do much. Didn't do anything to excite me. There were a couple times that he was trying to force something, but he just, no accuracy, no whatever. It was just all, I'd say it's all effort, but it wasn't great effort, if we're being honest. Bernadeschi's another player, if I'm being honest, too. I've been using the term "if I'm being honest" today, right? Well, am I coming over here and just lying on screen? Anyway, Bernadeschi, I feel like with him that I would take a similar approach to that of Paulo Dibala. the way I've said about Dybala, where for all intents and purposes, couldn't even get that out. It seems that his days are either numbered or done at Juventus. At the end of the season, he'll be moving on, going somewhere else, because it doesn't appear that the club seems that they're going to be willing to pay him whatever he requests, that 4 million euros, or it almost seems that maybe they're going to Paulo Dibala him and say, we put the number out there, you kept wanting more, we told you 2.5, if you're not going to take it, you're not going to take it, you're done, kind of thing. That's the feeling that I've been getting. We'll see if that ends up playing out that way, but if that is how it's going to play out, if we get to the summer and we see that Bernadeschi's really not even going to have, or that it's not going to be renewed, and he's played more, I would ask, why are you playing him then? Like, if you know you're not going to be having him around for next season, if you're not going to use him, why play him? At that point, you're not doing anything good for the team moving forward. Bernadeschi hasn't been that useful. He's been injured for a while, too, throughout the winter part of the season. He hasn't been that useful. I wouldn't be playing him. I put him and Dybala in the back of the line, and if all hell breaks loose and you have to use him, you have to use him. But otherwise, you're not using him to build toward anything at this point. All right, and then we got to get to the final man, the big man who we had to talk about, Max Allegri. And Max Allegri gets a 3 rating from me today. It's difficult for me to really try to defend him in these circumstances. We're near the end of the frickin' season. I've been sitting here behind this mic for almost an entire season, waiting for something to come, waiting for something to develop, waiting to see some kind of effort, some kind of what your program, what you're trying to do, what's your tactics you're trying to do with this team, what's the ideology behind this team, and we haven't seen it. We haven't seen any of it. Nothing's coming. If anything, I'd say this team has taken steps back in the last few weeks of the season, and I'm not convinced that we're going to see it get much better. Do I think, or when I say that, do I mean Max Allegri out at the end of the season? No, I don't. Like, let's be honest, guys. I know you guys are going to overreact, and you're going to leave the Allegri out comments and the thing. That's not what the team needs right now. The team does not need to move a coach out. I still think Max Allegri is a damn fine coach. I'm hoping that if he gets the players that will work in his system, the players that he knows how to use, that we'll see something different. Am I 100% confident? No. Let's be honest, I'm not. Just because how do you get through a whole season without an idea? Even if the idea is not working, I'd like to be able to look at it and be like, oh, I can see what he's doing. Oh, I can see these are the pieces he wants to use. These are the guys he's trying to develop. And again, and that's another conversation we can have, another frustration of the young guys that are not getting utilized. Maretti, who was there suited up in uniform, ready to go. You have the issues in the midfield. Danilo's freaking playing in the midfield. Adrian Rabiot, Cuadrado can't even complete a pass. This is the moment. These are the moments that you should be utilizing guys like Maretti. You should be utilizing Sule, who had a goal for the under whatever team. Yes, fine, but at the same time, he had a goal. He has scoring capabilities, and this team right now can't score against anybody. I was joking and hyping up Zaniolo for his hat trick, and people were like, yeah, against whatever Farmers League team. But like, no offense, but like Bologna is not nothing special. Like I take something else over that. We can't score against Bologna. You can't score. Like at the end, you were lucky to get that. That was nothing created. That was just you had 11 guys, they had 9. Just keep trying to force it in. So finally, something will go in. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I know what the solution is. Better players, better midfield. And a better ideology, a better plan. You got to have a better plan, and Allegri needs to do that. That's his job in the upcoming, month and a half, couple months, when the season ends to the next season begins. Come up with a plan and show us there's something there. Because right now I'm not seeing anything, and then I'm worried. At that point, we'd probably be better off if we would have kept Andrea Pirlo, if we're being honest. if this is where he is. If he's going to keep doing dinosaur tactics and not, not develop anything, then we're going to have a problem. I'm hopeful that next season we'll see something more, but we'll see. And I understand he did not have the greatest setup coming in. With injuries, departures, whatever, he's had plenty of skeleton crews that he's put together. If you look back, probably solid games against other teams with, but at the same time, I don't know if you're going to win Champions League anytime soon. Or not Champions League, sorry. You were definitely not winning Champions League anytime soon. It's been since I was 5, all right? We'll see. If it happens, it happens. But when it comes to the Scudetto, that's the most important thing. Right now, get back to winning the Scudetto. I mean, heck, at this point, at least, I would be saying next year you should win the Scudetto. But right now, I'm just asking, just compete for the friggin' Scudetto at this point. Because right now, we can't even say they've been doing that through this season. Max Allegri, 3 rating. Not there's our problem. Our problem is coaching. Somebody get their act together. I don't know what Agnelli sees right now. I don't know what Agnelli's feeling right now. If his frustrations with Allegri are the same that you and I have, but I hope somebody's upset. I know one of the Elkins is. I saw him tweet out his frustrations about Allegri. So at least somebody in ownership is angry. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this unfolds throughout the next season, though I still think he ends up staying for one more season. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for the ratings today. I, got my thoughts out there with the players. Everybody was bad. Really, ratings, everybody bad, nobody good. Danilo, all right. That's really what it was. Allegri, horrendous. What are you doing? What is it you do here? The meme from, I don't know, people, this is outdating myself. I'm definitely dating myself here. The Office Space meme, what is it you do here? That one. That's exactly what I'm wondering. What is it that you're doing here right now? Because I'm not seeing it. Guys, let me know your thoughts on my ratings in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. If you could also make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. Follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.